Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam. So I think we should start now.
Sir, I think we need to wait for two minutes, and after that we can start.
Okay, so
So, sir, we
okay,
can
sir.
start.
Let's start. Okay.
Okay. So today I give mock test, and you can take my mock test.
Okay, so I am just finding the question. After that, we will start. Okay, sir. Let's start. Let's talk about your hometown. What do you like most about living where you live? About your hometown.
I really love the environment and the peoples around me in my hometown because I was living there for almost 18 years, and mostly people know me and they are very helpful. Whenever I need help, I just go and ask them for help, and they are most obviously ready to help me, whether it's any kind of help. So I really like about this thing, and the other thing also, uh, the environment that I have in my hometown, because I have too many gardens around my home. So usually whenever I was bored, I go to there and spend some time, and I feel very fresh and energetic after that.
Okay. Do you prefer living in a city or in the countryside?
I prefer to live in a city because I think in a city we can access things very quickly, as compared to countryside, because we need we need utility things in our daily life, so we just go some mile away to get it from shops. So in cities shops are very closer to hometown, so I think city is preferable because of the convenience.
Okay, now let's talk about food. What kinds of food do you like to eat?
Healthy food, I really like to eat healthy food. For example, uh, I love to eat fruits and vegetables that are fresh, and also some dairy products that are and full of calcium and magnesium. I really love to eat them because I think in adult life, or in, we can say, in young age, we need protein and we need those nutrient. So I think I we need to eat some healthy food, and I also prefer it. And I also take yogurt and milk every day to maintain my health.
So there is a voice disruption, maybe due to internet issue. Your voice is not clear.
सर अब क्लियर, अब बताएं। सर हुई आवाज क्लियर? एम आई ऑडिबल नाउ? सर शुड आई rejoin or my voice is clear now?
Sir, are you able to listen to me now? Sir Abdurrahman?
Sir, you are audible before. Am I audible now?
Then, yes, sir, you are audible now. So we can continue our test.
Okay, sir. Part one question. We are at part one question.
Okay. Do you enjoy cooking?
Yes, I really enjoy cooking because of my background. I am from the family who is in the business of cooking, and we do it from two 25 years. I think we are working in this industry for 25 years. So I really have passion to cook something on by myself. So I really love to cook, and I especially made some kind of dishes when I am free in my home and I was alone. So I really prepare some kind of dishes to use my own mind and pick random things and pick random ingredients and make something special. And after that, I eat with very joyful.
How often do you eat out with friends or family?
With family, I eat, I think, dinner, lunch, I eat in a day. But with friends, I occasionally do on the festivals, especially coming up the Eids that we can, that our national festival or our religious festival that comes in a year once. So I go with my friends out there on restaurants, or we are going to some parks to buy some cold drinks and burgers from Burger King. And after that, we go to the park and having some fun. And after that, we eat sitting with friends.
Okay. Let's talk about technology. How often do you use your mobile phone?
every day. I use my mobile phone every day, and my most of the time goes on mobile phone. I think my screen time is 8 hours in a day. Mostly, I use the apps that are entertainment related. So I use my mobile phones, I think, too much.
Do you think people rely too much on technology these days?
Yes, because people too much rely on technology because of how technology are involved in our daily life. You can see everywhere in every field technology is used, whether the in this whether in the shape of computer or especially in computer. Like when you go to hospitals, we need to enter patients data, so we use computers and we need to find patients history. So and in every field, I think people are rely on more on technology because of the advancements that are happening in the technology.
Okay, sir, here is your cue card in the comment section. You can read it and you have 1 minute to prepare.
And my time starts now for 1 minute. I can take notes.
Yes. Okay. Okay, sir, you can start.
Sorry, sir, my ballpoint is not working, so I think you can give me 1 more minute so I can take
Okay, sir,
notes on my.
you have 1 minute. Sir, are you comfortable to start now?
Okay, sir. So the memorable meal that I have is recently when I was go with my friends on Burger King, and the day was on Eid. Eid is a special day for us because it's our religious day. So on Eid, we friends get together and we are planning to eat something. So we are three friends and we have very short budget to eat something. So we are planning to go somewhere we can get something that are very cheap in value and gets and the meal is very good, so we can three people can eat easily. So we go on Burger King that are near to our home, so we go there. And when we go there, we see the menu, and in menu uh, there are too many dishes. There are too many meals, but they are not in our budget. So we decided to go with their deal. That deal is deal one, in which they have one special burger, special grilled burger, and one cold drink. So we are three people. We are three friends, and we are very uh, surprised to see the price of this deal. But I we choose to take it. So we order it, and then we take it and we go to the park, near park. So where then we open the box of a burger. Then we see the burger is very short, and we are three people, and we are very surprised by seeing this very short, we can say there are very little burger inside the box. And we are three-person, and we think we cannot eat it, and we cannot uh, get more value. So we are disappointed from Burger King. There are restaurants that are very famous, so we are disappointed from this. That's why it's very memorable, because we think we pay some big price of some meal, so we can get good value from it, but it does not give us good value money. So we never forget about it, and after that we go to our local shop and buy some other things that we can eat, and we can make our tummy full. So we go there.
Okay. Why? Let's talk about meals. Why do you think sharing meal with others is important in many cultures?
Because in many culture it's the best practice to give meals to others, because it gives the sense of caring others, and they give the sense of giving to others, while you also have need for meal. But when you give it, you are choosing the right path to give others when you are not able, when you are also have something little. So it gives
Okay.
the purpose.
In your country, how has the way people eat changed in the last 20 to 30 years?
Peoples are changing habits dramatically, because before 20 years ago we are seeing the people that eat very healthy. They drink milk, they eat yogurt regularly, and they are eating some kind of meat in their daily life, so they are get better and stronger in their life. But now you can see people are just eating junk foods that are not good for their health, but they are eating it by just getting some cheap dopamine, or we can uh, just for fun. They are eating junk foods, pizza and burgers, because of the Western culture. To see the Western culture, they are eating it, and they are inspired from Western culture. So in conclusion, there are too much difference between the eating habits now and 20 years before ago.
Do you think home cooked food is better than food from restaurant?
Yes, there are too many reasons, but I want to discuss about the healthiness of the food and the ingredients that are used in home are better than the ingredients used in restaurants, because restaurants are making things for too many people, and they don't care about the quality of the things that are adding up in while making a dish. But on the other hand, when we see at our home, we are very conscious about our hygiene, and we are very conscious about our diet. We make things uh, with very cleanliness, and we are adding things that are healthy for our health. So I think homemade food is better than from restaurant.
Some people say that eating together as a family is becoming less common nowadays. Do you agree?
No, in our country, I think not. Uh, some people can do, some younger people do it, but not often everyone in our country do it. They eat with friends, they are usually eating with their families. Almost dinner they do with their families, we can, if we see. But some youngsters that are in university, they don't have much time to spend the time with their parents. So for example, their classes starts from morning to evening, so they don't have time to go home and eat lunch with their family, so they go with their friends. And on the other hand, when we discuss about the other people from children perspective, they are eating at home because they have time to spend with family. And in one day, the dinner is must people do with their family. So I think it's not the common as much as people think.
How important is it for children to learn how to cook?
If people are happy to cook, because for their creativity, we can say people need to learn about cooking. But not every child need to learn about it, not every children need to learn about cooking, because in our culture, especially the girls learn about it, not the boys. They are the girls who are the girls must learn about it, while the boys do not need it. But if some boys or anyone who has the passion, or who want to learn about it, they can learn. But it's not the necessary for learn about cooking for everyone. But somehow the people who want to go abroad and live by themselves, so I think those people need to learn about cooking. But not all children need to learn about it.
What do you think the future of eating out will be like in the next 10 years?
I think people go outside, uh, usually in a week. They spend time with their family on a restaurant or on a beach or any other tourist spots, and go there and eat with their family, not at home, because it gives them refreshment from their family, and also give them a time to spend time with their family. So I think in future people's more likely to go outside weekend or in a month, to get enjoyment and spend time with their family.
Okay. Should governments do more to encourage healthy eating habits?
Government can do it by enforcing laws to restaurants, but on citizens it is impossible, because we cannot force anyone to eat healthy unless they are also want to eat healthy. But on the other hand, if governments play a role in restaurant, they can enforce laws to use good ingredients in making foods. They can implement food cleanliness and other things that are working in while cooking. So I think government can do it, but they cannot do enforce citizens to eat healthy.
In many countries, fast food is very popular. What are the advantages and disadvantages of this trend?
If we talk about advantages, the advantages are people can get food very quickly, especially those who are working in industry. They don't have much time to spend on eating. They are just need to go on their work quickly, so they don't have much time. And the fast food is usually made up in 20 to 25 minutes, so I think it's the best option for them. But on the other hand, there are disadvantages also for taking too much fast food in their eating habit. That is, their health will be affected by eating junk food, and also their lack of concentration on their work. Their health will be decrease. Their health will be decreased with the passage of time. So I think there are advantages and disadvantages of um, junk food and fast food.
Okay, here's the end of your mock test of IELTS speaking. So I can give you a review on the basis of your answers. Overall, there are two major achievements and three things that you need to focus on. You early know about them, but you can focus on them and easily in near future your English will be at the level where good aim can be considered. For one thing, I want must to aware you that filler words are very much in your speaking. And second thing that you conclude the word very much is we can say, we can say, we can say. And we can is the word that you repeated in many parts. And in two questions, you didn't answer the actual response of that question. For example, I asked you a question about, let me find out. Yes. In cooking, there are one question. How often do you eat out with friends and family? You are only speaking about friend and you speak about family in the start that you eat dinner and then, but it is about out, eat out. So after that, in last part, I ask you a question about what do you think eating out will be like in the next 10 years? So in the start, you are just describing about what is the benefit of with family and all, and speaking about cooking. Overall, the response is good, but in these two questions, your response was not actual to the answer. And on the other hand, in your um, cue card, you have lot of filler words. So try to make these mistakes solve so you can have a good band in your IELTS speaking. Your ideas was good, but you just need to develop them enough that you can expand and speak about them clearly. That's from my side. Sir, my screen is visible to you?
Yes, sir, is visible.
Okay, let's see the mock test.
Talking about your work. Do you work or do you study?
I'm a student. I'm a student on Oman. I am pursuing ACCA at the moment, but the thing is still going on.
What is that?
It's the Association of Certified Chartered Accountancy. So there are 13 papers in it. You're supposed to complete all 13 to get the
Sir, ये screen
certification.
बहुत
So far,
small
I've
है.
completed.
So I think I need to play it.
Okay.
तो सर अब हम एक मॉक टेस्ट देख लेते हैं आइल स्पीकिंग का, जिससे हमें ये चीज़ पता चल जाएगी कि आइल स्पीकिंग के अंदर कैसे आंसर्स करते हैं बैंड 9 पीपल्स एंड हाउ दे आर यूजिंग some connectors and what are the vocabulary they are used. So we are just looking at the band 9 sample answer that he is giving, so we can better understand about IELTS speaking test. Now I am playing the video.
Okay.
Sir, if I close my mic, it will be audible to you or not?
Uh, I think there is an option in screen sharing that your voice will get into the Zoom meeting also. Your computer voice. You can play and then we will see what is that. It is not audible to me. I think you have not enabled the option. So could you stop screen sharing and then I will guide you.
Okay, sir, I think I need to open.
Now try to open the
Okay,
screen
I
sharing
got it.
option. Okay.
Of like the same kind of thing. I just think it would be easier to function in life with less.
What things can you not live without?
Ooh, my phone. I can't live without my phone. What else can't I live without? Water, staying hydrated, and my cats.
How do you organize your belongings?
Sometimes I do it by color. If it was like things related to,
Let's talk about technology in modern life, your life.
I think technology has changed my life in so many different ways. One of them being the ability to connect with people. Personally, I have a lot of long distance friends, and technology has allowed me to stay in touch with those people. And even though they don't, you feel like you never miss that connection because of technology. And I think work related offers me a lot of opportunity to connect and network with many
life?
I personally would like to have less technology in my life, just because I feel like technology sometimes defeats the purpose. Nowadays with the AI and all of that, it's kind of starting to replace human beings in a sense. And I would like to depend less on technology generally.
Do you think technology has made your life better now than in the past?
Those social media, the iconic social media platforms that all young teenagers use. And those are the main platforms people are using now to connect with people and to network. And especially if you're running your own business, for example, like trying to share your music or share art, that's how you come out to a bigger platform. So definitely I feel like it has a bigger advantage than what we had in the past.
Now let's talk about reading. Do you enjoy reading?
I do enjoy reading, but I wish I did more of it. I feel like with technology and all the modern things coming up, I feel like I used to read more as a child, and I'm trying to get back into it. Some of the things I love reading about are self-help books. Those are my favorite.
Now let's talk about outdoor activities. What activities do you like to do outdoors?
Outdoors, I love to go running sometimes. I like to do morning yogas. I've had yogas by the beach before. I really love joining group classes outdoors as well. I once did this thing where we started off with a morning yoga and then it went into a HIIT workout and then a yoga cool down. I love to go swimming. I love the ocean. I love to be by the beach. And yeah.
How often do you spend time outside?
Not as often as I would like, just because given the location I'm in right now, it gets pretty hot and humid. And I wish our weather would accommodate being outdoors more often. But I try my best to be outside as much as possible.
When you are outside, do you prefer being alone or with other people?
I think I prefer being alone just because it gives you that space to be with yourself and to disconnect from everyone around you. For me personally, sometimes I feel like when I'm around people, my social battery dies very quickly, and it could be a lot to take in. Both have their advantages and disadvantages. Of course, I'd love to hang out with my friends and be around my friends, but I recently did a solo trip to England and I spent most of my time by myself in nature, walking around the city, and I find that one learns a lot when they spend time with their self and the energies around them.
In the future, would you like to do more activities outdoors?
Yes, for sure. I always wanted to try out paragliding, skiing. Skiing has been one of an outdoor activity I'd always wanted to do. A time where I had to adapt to a new situation, it came when I graduated from high school and I had to finally move to college. And I was one of the people that decided ultimately to move out of my home place to go abroad for university, just because I felt like university abroad had more resources and opportunity. It was pretty difficult to fit in. People have different culture over there, different outlook on life, but I needed to adapt because that was the only way I could grow in that environment. I think that some days were better than others. It was pretty difficult in the beginning just because I felt like in the beginning you feel very out of place. Like, for example, when I started my degree, I didn't really had prior experience to the art world and everything related to the art world from in my home country. So when I moved, I kind of was like that one student in between everyone that was inexperienced or less experienced. And it got to me sometimes. Sometimes I cried in class. I had my breakdowns. But I think I learned a lot that you keep pushing through in those situations. It could be so easy to cave in to the bad or the negative, but if you just take it as a learning experience and keep moving, after a year, 2 years pass by, one starts to acclimate to their environment and one starts to adapt properly.
We have been talking.
You can see in part 2, the the candidate can see their notes not only in the eyes of the examiner. Means if you create your notes and you are thinking about when you are speaking in part 2, you don't need to look at your paper and just speaking about it while you are having the eye contact with the examiner. This is not the case in IELTS. So when in part 2 we create our notes and we need to see and get idea what I need to speak about the next topic, so we can see our notes that are on our paper, and we can take a pause and see our notes and get idea what I need to speak about it, and then we can start it. That is in part 2. Now I am playing the part 3 question, and we look at this part how the band 9 candidate give the answer to IELTS examiner.
Okay, sir. Thanks for that point.
About a new situation you had to adapt to. We're going to continue to talk about change and adaptation and personal growth, things like that. Why do some people find it harder to adapt to change than others? To thank you for watching this video, I want to give you a free course that has helped you through.
Straying away from our brain, the way it's formulated, is that we get specific programs put into us when we're kids, and straying away from those kind of programs, whether it's the environment you grew up in or the relationships you've had throughout your life, I think it puts the human being in a state of fight or flight. That's why some people resist change or never want to change.
Now let's talk about cultural adaptation. Why do some people adapt more easily to living abroad than others?
I think sometimes a person finds themselves abroad. Maybe that culture fits them more as a person, as a soul. I think that sometimes people find they empathize with the people that they live with outside, and if one is reserved in their home country and decides to move out, they open themselves up to different experiences. And I think when one finds that freedom and that belonging somewhere else, they start to adapt a new lifestyle and way of living.
What challenges do people face when adapting to a new culture?
One of the many challenges I think people face when adapting to a new culture is sometimes there are some things about that culture that will not resonate with you as a person. For example, me personally, I decided to ultimately move out of America after I got my degree, just because there were a couple of values in that culture that personally I didn't resonate with, and I found it better to find somewhere elsewhere where I could feel more at home and more like everything was in coherence with me.
And last question in part 3, how does facing challenges help people develop as individuals?
I think facing challenges, most importantly, makes you listen to yourself more, makes you follow your gut more. And I'm a personal believer that nobody grows without pain and going through challenges. I think pain is a big life teacher. It's something that people have to go through in order to become a better version of themselves.
Well done. I'm going to give you some feedback now. My feedback will be on part 1 and then part 2, part 3. So we're going to talk more strategic, tactical things that you could do to ensure you get the highest score possible and that people watching at home can learn from that. And then we're also going to talk about your band score. So pronunciation, fluency, grammar, vocabulary. What would I give you? How would I help you get the highest score possible? So part 1, to thank you for making it First few answers, many people do, which is you were quite nervous in the beginning.
Yes.
And that affected your fluency a little bit. Myself, as a native English speaker, if I was doing this test, the first few answers probably wouldn't be the most fluent ones because you are a little nervous in the beginning. That is why in part one, they don't start off with the really difficult questions. They just throw little getting to know you questions at you, but you cope pretty well after that. So as you went on, your answers became more fluent and you became less nervous, and a good examiner will recognize that. A lot of people think that if you have one bad answer that you immediately get a low score. That's not how the test works. The examiner will base your score on the totality of your answers. For example, you gave some very short answers at the beginning, or you just were like, listed lots of different things. The examiner knows that's just nerves based on your subsequent answers. So pick the things that are easy to talk about, and it's okay to have some nerves. Just understand that that's part of the test.
अच्छा उसने the examiner give the review about the girl is that when we are in our real exam, first few questions we are nervous, so we don't need to take any stress about it. If we are starting an exam and we are nervous and we gave 1 to 2 questions wrong or very short answer. So I in this video, the IELTS Advantage teacher Chris Bell telling us we don't need to worry about it, and we just keep going, and we need to overcome our stress and be natural in our answers. So if we gave 1 or 2 answers wrong, we no need to worry about it.
To a similar
Okay,
thing
sir.
at the beginning of part two, you could tell that you were thinking a lot. You were trying to come up with the best ideas, I think. Is that true or not?
Yes.
So remember that it's not an ideas test. It is a speaking test. A lot of people think that they'll get a higher score or sound more impressive if they choose the best ideas. The best ideas are the ones that are easiest for you to talk about, the simplest ideas. At the beginning, your fluency wasn't bad or anything like that, but it was just that you could tell that the cogs in your brain were working overtime trying to think of the correct thing. And our brains are obviously connected to our speech. And if our brains are overworked, just like a computer with too many tabs open, then the speech coming out will be affected sometimes. It wasn't that affected, but again, the examiner won't listen to the first few sentences and go, oh, terrible fluency. Not that it was terrible, but a lot of people watching think that that's the case. They've been taught in their school that if they don't sound fluent the entire time, that they're going to get a lower score. That is not the case. But overall, your part two was great. Some great vocabulary, some great grammar. But on test day, you might get a question that you don't feel comfortable talking about, or is just unusual for you. That could affect your fluency, because unusual topic plus overthinking could lead to you just having fluency issues. So again, my advice is pretty repetitive, but talk about the things that are easy to talk about. Know that it's not a performance, it's a conversation. All right. So sometimes it felt like you were performing rather than talking to me. Everybody's different. Some people don't like making eye contact, but when you were thinking, you were looking away and looking up. Like a lot of students do that. They always look up. Maybe that's part of your brain that deals with ideas, and you can tell they're really thinking deeply. When you did that, you were thinking a lot, and that your fluency suffered at times. You did this thing as well. You did it at the start of part two, and you did it in part three, where you think and speak at the same time, and you usually repeat the question. So what you do is you're like, so describe a time when you had to adapt to a new situation. So you're talking and thinking all at the same time and repeating. I think in today mock test, I am also do this mistake. I repeated questions because I want to need some time to think about the question and understand the question. So this mistake I am also doing it, and now I am watching the video and I get the better knowledge about how I can solve it. So these are the
Yes,
mock
sir.
tests that help us to understand better. So that's why we are seeing
Yes,
the.
sir. The most important is the review that the examiner gives. It's really helpful. for the person who is preparing for the test.
A better way might be to just give yourself a little bit more time. You don't have to answer immediately. Think about it for a second or two and just say, that's an interesting question. I haven't thought about that one before. Or that's a really good question. Let me think about that for a second. And then give your answer. Because some examiners might think that you're just repeating the question back at them. So that's not really showing how great your English is, and your fluency is not great at the same time. The first 10, 20% of your answers, the fluency seems to be lower than the final 80, 90%.
Yes.
Because you're thinking what to say.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Is that helpful?
Yes.
You probably don't even know you're doing it. It's
Yeah.
probably just a habit. And in normal life, you probably don't need to do that, but
Right.
we want to make sure that you get one of the top marks. Another way that you could improve, especially your part 3, would be to include more examples. So you talk generally about situations that happened, like when you were crying in college, or the values that you disagreed with. Maybe you didn't want to say that because you don't want to be controversial or whatever. Maybe you want to be, not offend anyone. But in the real test, the cameras are not rolling. Nobody.
Yes.
Feel free to give those real examples because they're often easier to talk about. Another way is just to imagine you're talking to someone who doesn't know anything about what you're talking about, and you need to help them understand. All right. So using examples is just a way that human beings help. It's just a communications tool. Explanations are communications tools.
Yes.
Again, nothing bad, but we want to make sure that you get one of the top marks.
Okay.
And these are just me being overly cautious and helping the people learn at home as well. So what scores would you get? The best part of your performance is your pronunciation. Even though you didn't grow up in an English-speaking country,
Yes.
you have picked up the accent.
Yeah.
You don't sound like an American per se, but you
Sir,
don't...
I think we are coming up to end our session, and we are having our session time ended.
Okay, sir.
So
Overall,
yes,
sir.
sir, you can conclude it.
I am just thinking about that we should need to focus on that feedback and key points that they are telling about how to answer your question, and some key points that he discussed during the review, that you don't need to hesitate. You have to feel relaxed about your first couple of questions, and after that. But one thing that I am nervous about, the cue card part, because in cue card you need to speak about 2 minutes. That burden of speaking and thinking about that you are speaking for 2 minutes are much more than other fairs. So I just need to break down these weaknesses in the cue card part. Overall, the things are getting better, and inshallah over the time period it will get more better. You can conclude now.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. We are ended our session, so I stop live streaming, and oh, you are the host, sir. Give me the host position, and I will end the session.